So, hello. Yeah, just wait for some other people. Check it. Yeah, hello. I think most people from India now here, no? So let's wait a couple of minutes. Just tell me, did you get access to the platform? Is everything clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is clear.
But I will record. So the session is now recorded. If it is too loud here, I need to take my headphones because I'm already in Mexico. So in north of Mexico, it's 2 hours to United States, to Arizona, and to Texas. No, to Texas 2 hours, and to Arizona 3 or 4. New Mexico, it's also 3 hours. So today we are moving on with the slides. No? So today we do more slides, and in the next session we will also have more interaction. So perhaps we will change the Teams platform into the Zoom, and then we organize before some groups, so that students from India, I mean, I think you are probably one of the most people inside because you are from 3 different universities in India, but we are going to arrange multicultural groups. So that perhaps there's a German inside, or somebody from Slovenia, and somebody from Africa. So we are going to organize groups. And with these people, you will probably work during our lessons. I'm only talking about during our lessons here, our some kind of lecture, or however you call it, that you will, during these lessons, work with these people. On the other side, you will have some individual learning paths, and then you will also have group work, and there you will connect with others as well. Okay, yeah, just let me check when the other one will arrive. So do you have any questions so far?
Sir, not till now. No questions till now.
Okay, but let's wait for the others. Perhaps there might be some questions, and then I'm explaining it a little bit again about the program, about the next weeks. So and that everybody gets the message of what to do, when to do, and at the end also how to do it. that you know exactly how you can get the certificate at the end, and that you hopefully have a good learning journey with contacts with others. So we are always further developing the platform. When you think something could be improved, we are also open for feedback. It is also a learning journey for us to do this, because you are now in this international business students cohort, and we will also have an executive cohort starting end of February. So end of February, there will be also executive MBAs, so people with more experience. And when you have some suggestions of how to improve the system or what could be made better from the learning platform, so we are open. You can write us an email, or you can write me an email. I think most of you have my email. It's on the presentation slides, and so yes, we can also improve. No? So it is like the topic of global mindset. No, it is a learning journey. It's there is not a straight line of developing a global mindset. There are so many factors or even context factors about your job profile and about the position itself. So do you handle a lot of issues with other nations, with other countries or not? And this is something really important. Okay, so now it's 8 o'clock. I'm just wondering where the Germans are. Normally they are on time. Perhaps they also have a class today. I'm not sure. But anyhow, I think that we can start now. So Vinit is also inside. So Vinit, do you have any questions?
No, Professor, I have no questions. Thanks for asking me. I have no questions, but I guess so the number of students I see this week is a bit less. And I have asked a few students to participate in the survey. So I guess something was not clear, but I guess there is some cooperation among the students and they are helping them. Few of them are helping out. So I think this will be done. I'm sure if you can guide them for maybe 5 minutes what is actually required in the survey, so that will be great.
Okay. So I'm trying to let me check it. I'm trying to share the screen then with the learning platform. Wait a second. If it works. This is not. Let me check it. It is here. So let me. I think now you can see it a bit. So in the beginning, students need to register with one code. So one access code. There are a couple of numbers where you need to register, where you need to make your own email address, your name. This is relevant because you have your own learning journey, and in the group work you can connect with the others. So it's up to you what information you are giving. Some information we need because you're not having a group or a class journey, you have your own journey. So we need some kind of identification. This is the reason why we need some kind of email address from your faculty or from your university. It doesn't matter. Okay, so you are only allowed to look in this international business students part. So I have the German page here, but inside most of the things are also in English. So the point is that you have here, first of all, a description. You have the background. So what is the course all about? So it would be good to read it in the beginning. You have the different topics. Like today we have the week number 2. And then we have the lectures always on Thursdays with these topics. Then we have a structure about what is the course also about. So what are the main parts? What will you learn perhaps at the end? And here the course objectives in detail. Some of the parts were already on the flyer, which perhaps you have seen, but here it's written more. So the learning approach is here. Perhaps we need to check about what you need to do at the end. I think it is good to do some kind of reflection report. So you are going to learn 12 different competencies, and from one of those competencies you pick out, and you are writing your own story, roughly 5 pages. You're writing, okay, you work with the content, you try to experiment. How did you improve? Do you have some own experiences? So it's about your reflection. So it is about to look how is your value now, and also perhaps did you improve? So you are going to do always an assessment of the competencies. No? So in the beginning, you always need to make some kind of motivation question. So you need to answer a motivation. So this one I had already. So what is the motivation to be part of this program? It's just like learning or developing and anything. Okay, then. And after this motivation question, then starts the different study programs. So within your, it's called study program or courses. So what you are going to do is, we have the 12 lectures, like I have shown you 3 minutes ago, and you have different competencies to improve. So we have here in this week, perhaps you started already with some of them, we have developed global business knowledge. And this global business knowledge, you're making an assessment. And after you did your assessment and you have like here, perhaps 15%, this means you have a low level. There's no criticism if you have a low or high level. It is your journey. You don't get any grades if you not always have a high level. It's your learning journey. So, and then you have, for example, if you would have more than 50%, 50 to 80, you would have not a low level, you would have a medium level. And then this window would open at medium. If you would have more than 80%, then you would have here something of developing high level. But now it is customized, and then you have here, for example, 15%. Okay, what do you need to do now? Now you have different text. You have, in this case, you have a lot of text or videos, but this is not always the same. So you need to go into this text, and you need to go on the link. You need to read it. And after you have read it, you need to answer this reflection question. So there's a question. And this question, you need to type in roughly 100 to 300 words. So there is the text, and you get familiar with what is globalization. And then you need to answer this question. So you need to put in, this one here is you need to go in the text. You need to write the text. No? So, sorry, you need to write the text. And when you write less than this 150 words, the system said, no, you must submit more. If you have more than 350, I think they say, please write less. So, and this you need to submit. You need to save it, and then you can get here, like, for example, it's not correct. No, here it's telling it's not correct because it is not 150 signs, something like this. Okay. And when you did all of, so here it is now yellow, it's not green. So it does mean you did not finish it. So the system knows, did you do it or not? I mean, you can also say blah, 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 blah. And then you also have 150, but then I will look at your answers, or some of my colleagues would say, hey, what's going on here? No? So this is not the right answer. But you need to go one by one by one by one. So you need to do all of it. When you finish this is the individual learning. And this you need to do very quickly, fast, because the quicker you are, you will get access into case studies. So you are having a case study with others. So for example, let me check if it is here inside. So you have some kind of group works. So here you have, after you finished your individual learning, and this takes perhaps 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, it depends on the text. But the texts are always not very long. They're always 1 or 2 pages, and then at the end it is. Okay, now when you finish this individual learning parts, you need to choose a group. So these are Harvard business cases. So they are only the titles. And you said, oh, the title is interesting for me. I would like to go into this. Does your company have what it takes to go global? So now you are in the group. The group needs at least 3 people. So you must wait till the other one are inside, but you can already focus on the text. So you can already go on the text, you can download the text. Does your company have what it takes to go global? These are always 3 or 4 pages. These are really small ones. And this you discuss with the others. Now, here there's already a reflection question. Are positive market indicators a good sign or sign of going global? Here you also need to submit a text. No? So you also need to write a text here. I think it is the same with 150 and some others. But you also have a timetable. So once again, so each week, when I'm going back, so each week you have one of those, okay, this is not the right one. You have one of those issues to do for an international business student. So you need to, wait a second. It's called qualifications. So you need to do each week individual learning and group learning. So being fast is relevant in order to submit it. So, and you have time till next week, Thursday, to develop global business knowledge. Then the week after, you have 1 week, well, only 1 week time, strategic and critical thinking. Hopefully, you know how it works then the system, and then you have learning agility, develop openness. So let's check, for example, develop openness. So what kind of material is inside? You have here something like low. Here you also have some text, some videos. But these are mostly very, very short parts. Okay, so do you have any more questions now? So you will get another manual. You're doing now the individual learning parts. Then you will get the next couple of days, hopefully on Monday, you will get how to enter the group work. You get the second manual, how to enter the group work. And what we also have is we have experience reports. So for example, I had already students earlier, and these students have written down, oh, I did improve with global business knowledge by reading these books, by watching CNN or anything like that. Once again, at the end, you need to go through the learning platform, and you also need to write a reflection report. So your reflection report, so we will make it anonymous, will later be uploaded for the next cohort of students that they see, look, this is how somebody has improved, how somebody did get better. So this is your reflection of how to improve. So learning material, reading, or you have a video to listen and you need to answer. Okay, then you have interaction with the group work, or you read other experience reports. So this is the approach, and this is week by week by week. So like I said in the beginning, because now more people have joined. So in the next session, in the next week, we will change the Teams platform into Zoom. So you will get the link in anything the next couple of days, because we are making this program much more interactive. So in the beginning, like the last session, this session, I'm reading a little bit more, you get familiar with the topic, but then we will put you into cross-cultural groups. So not that only people from India are in the group, but also that we said, okay, now there are 2 or 3 others from other countries, and that you're doing real intercultural. We will do some breakout rooms that you will get familiar with the content. So this is the approach: is giving a lecture, but that you are going to connect with others in this short breakout sessions, or where you talk about your personal experience. So the main approach is to learn from experience. The best would be to learn from first-hand experience, but also to learn from others. So the group is there with knowledge, and you need to ask questions about, okay, what is trust, how to negotiate within your culture, what kind of informations do you need. And this is to understand the others, because when you understand the others better, you understand yourself. So this is like mindset. The mindset is about, you must get familiar with your attitudes, your values, your way of thinking, your way of interpreting and making sense. And this in different topics, which are relevant later in your global career, global business career, in the way what you need to apply. So this is the approach of the learning platform. You can also look it up later. So once again, it is recorded. I will give you a YouTube link again, and that you can see how the learning platform functions when you still have some problems. If you have did not solve it, and not by asking others how they did it, you can write me an email, and we will also trying to fix it with short period of time. Okay, so let's move on with some of those slides. No? Or is there any question right now which is urgent or which is relevant to ask? Okay, if it is not the case, then I will move on with some of the slides. And so when you remember the last time we talked about this global local dilemma. So we talked about Bartlett Goshal and about the difference between an international, a multinational, a global, and a transnational corporation. So when you remember, Harley-Davidson on Espresso, they have one concept, one product, which they transfer one by one into different other countries. McDonald's, when you remember the short writing, is that McDonald's always tried to locally adapt. Adapt to India, adapt to Germany, adapt to United States, adapt to France, to Italy, and all of the Arabic countries. So always with trying to get local taste, different kinds of meats in this part. Then we had this Adidas example of the shoes. I mean, Adidas has more than shoes. They also have equipment and some other parts, but it is more global. It looks everywhere the same. Like, for example, also flying with a Boeing or anything. This is very standardized. So it's highly standardized, and Boeing decides. So they are doing the assembling, but they decide, okay, the seats are coming from China, the cockpit from United States, some of the turbines are coming from Germany. So the small tablets are coming from South Korea, from Samsung or anything, but they are doing. So they have a big center. They have knowledge all over the world. And then they said, and then they can negotiate and reduce the cost of the standardized product. The same is for luxury brands. So luxury brands are also global companies. Here we have, for example, Burberry. So I will give you an example of Burberry. So some of you might know Burberry, this trench coats and also the scarves, and they are very, very expensive. And it is a British company. So roughly 10 to 12 years ago, they had a different approach. And Burberry had the approach like clothing industry. Retail clothing is normally a multinational corporation. So the clothes in Mexico or in Brazil or in India or in Germany are sometimes completely different. So what did they do? So Burberry had in different countries different products. They did not only have the trench coats, but they also have accessoires and different bags. And even for dogs, Chihuahuas or others, they had a different style. So what kind of clothes these dogs or pets are wearing? I think perhaps you have seen it. And then there came a new CEO. I think she's now working at Amazon, and so US citizen. And what did she do? She said, "Hey, we have," because she had a meeting, and in the meeting nobody was wearing any products of Burberry. She said, "Hey, what's going on? We have here a meeting and nobody is buying our products or not wearing it." And then she said, "Okay, we are changing this multinational strategy to a global strategy. We had 3 or 4 designers worldwide. No, we reduced it. All the designers are in United Kingdom. They had different products in different countries." Said, "No, our main product, back to the roots, is a trench coat, and the trench coat is our main product." So she standardized the production and made it more commercial. So she also changed the shops. So there are more younger people selling these trench coats, 25 to 35. They had some kind of fashion shows inside the job. So a screen. So the design was more. We don't want these old people buying a trench coat. We want the young generation, the millennials, the people perhaps where the parents have money or they have money. No? So however you call it. But she said, and then Burberry was 10 years ago one of the fastest growing luxury brand, also with their revenues. So the point is that she said, we go back from this multinational to a global where we are, because luxury products are global companies. No? So a Porsche GT looks similar in Germany as in Dubai, as in different other cities of the world. And I mean, okay, we have Ford Mustang, because I'm watching here out of the window now, and sometimes we have a European model of a Ford Mustang or this US. No? So I mean, the gasoline prices are different in Europe and perhaps in the United States or in Mexico. So the point is that these companies make money, you know, with this global brands, global products. On the other side, these global brands are also sometimes more expensive. I mean, look at Starbucks. I think for nobody is Starbucks cheap. If you are in the United States, if you are in Italy, or if you are in Sao Paulo, Rua Paulista, you drink a Starbucks coffee. If you are here in Mexico, I think 300 meters away is a Starbucks. It's always expensive, but you are part of this American dream, perhaps. Now, some people would like to be part of this to be a global citizen, and they are willing to pay more. They believe also that the quality is better, and it is also a signal. No? So the price could even be a signal to say, I can afford it in this part. Okay, so we have this global company, and then we have this transnational. No? Once again, global local adaptation. So the Volkswagen Gol and some others, which you can see in South America, you will not see in Germany and any other places. So they are in this global local dilemma. So global local does always means transnational or global mindset. So on the top right, and on the top right here, Siemens, Volkswagen, there are people, they are searching for these leaders, global leaders. So they are searching for people who have work experience in 2 or 3 regions of the world. There is a lack, or there is a war, not only for talents, but there's a war for global leaders. So people who are willing to move each 3 to 5 years to a different region or going to different countries and anything like this. I mean, you must be open-minded. And perhaps when you're having 1 or 2 children, it's a little bit more complicated to move always. But this is what the companies need. They need people with different work experiences from different regions. It could be India, China with Europe, or India with United States, or India with South America, with Brazil. So even like this. No? Okay, so these are the strategies and the organizations, international, multinational, global, transnational. And now we look at who is being a good manager in these 4 kinds of companies. So how does the mindset should be in this kind of companies? And here we have the so-called EPRG model. So EPRG is an abbreviation. E does mean ethnocentrism, P polycentrism, regiocentric, and geocentric. So we have 4 kinds of orientations. And when you remember now, because I put in here this global standardization or global integration, local adaptation, the X and X and Y parts here. So an ethnocentric mindset fits good in an international company. So when you remember, on the bottom left was international. Polycentric works very well in a multinational corporation, McDonald's, Unilever, the whole clothing and retail industry, always polycentric. So what does polycentric means? Polycentric means when you are in Rome, do it like the Romans. So you need a local manager for this multinational corporation. So Walmart Mexico needs a Mexican. For example, Unilever Germany needs somebody from Germany because they know what their customers want. They know about these cultural differences. And we had a lot of companies going abroad, like, for example, the company Gap, a lot of you will know it. They failed in Germany. They sold one by one the products from the United States. I mean, within the 90s, 1996, hip hop and all of this music was quite famous. I also liked it, but the people said, no, it's not customized. It's not the style of what Germans want. No, so they did not adapt, and then they failed. Walmart did also not adapt to the German local market. They also failed because people don't want to buy a 4-liter gallon of milk. They want to buy milk every 2 to 3 days. And also some other products were not with the taste adapted. Okay, so polycentric, when you are in Rome, do it like the Romans, is relevant in a multinational. An ethnocentric attitude, which is, for example, with Harley Davidson and Espresso, is very successful because they have this home country attitude. We are selling the American dream, like Harley Davidson, and they are not willing to have somebody with this global mindset. But what is the global mindset now? Global mindset in this 4 field is this geocentric, like I said, transnational corporation. Some people also call it not only a global mindset, but a global mindset. Geocentric, global, global and local together, global is this on the top right. And here it is about that people have cross-cultural competences. Here it is about that people say, I'm coming from Germany, but I'm humble, I'm not better than others. I need to adapt like anybody else. I have some strategies, but I need to listen to my subordinates. I need to learn and I need to grow. And so this is relevant for this geocentric. This regiocentric mindset is something like, I put it here into global. It's a little bit of subform of polycentric, but the point is that sometimes we have regional managers, EMEA region, European, Middle East, Asia, or we have managers in the Pacific areas. So, for example, in Germany, we have the so-called DACH. D is Deutschland, so Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So very small. And we have some managers being for this, we also have Benelux, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg. So these are people familiar within 2 or 3 countries or more. So, for example, Henkel and some other ones from my home country, from my home city, Düsseldorf, they have, for example, also this EMEA region and in South American region, LATAM area, Latin America, LATAM. So this is also where, but even within LATAM area, there are also completely differences. I mean, when I'm looking here in Mexico, it's a little bit like US here in the north. Brazil is also looking to the US, but not so much adapting. So people who are familiar with English are perhaps 5% or less of the population. So most is in Portuguese. Okay, so now we have, once again, the point also of marketing. Sometimes we talk about international marketing, multinational marketing, global marketing, or local marketing. So the point is that we have some specific business function which needs people with a global mindset, and we have some of them where we said, okay, a global mindset would be good, but it is not necessary. So not everybody needs this global mindset. But when you will have a look at, for example, the finance function, if you're doing finance in India or doing finance in Spain or in Bolivia, there's not a big difference. I mean, okay, sometimes with investments and some other parts, but finance is nothing which has so much to do with cultural aspects. But when you look, for example, somebody working in marketing and sales, polycentrism, when you are in Rome, do it like the Romans. So this is very tricky. In order to sell products in Mexico, you must get to know how to advertise. What about the local language? So you need also local managers, because they know, oh, it's better to do it in the television, it's better to do it in a newspaper. So this 4 Ps, adapting the 4 Ps, product, price, place, promotion, is very relevant. So the point is that you also have global marketing or anything like this. So global branding, global brand manager. Perhaps there is also a geocentric mindset. Good. Research and development. Research and development is something also, I would say, is also relevant. What kind of product you have? Do you have a culture-free product, or do you have a culture-bound product? So what is a culture-free product to your point of view? A culture-free, so what is a culture-free product? Yes, please.
These kind of products are not affected by cultures like mobile phones or any kind of electronic gadgets.
Yeah.
They don't have any kind of.
So electronics, perhaps, no? Yeah, and culture-bound products?
Foods, clothing, and many more.
Yeah, so perhaps sometimes even beverages. So sometimes what you drink. When you said, okay, we have specific regions in India where they have a specific kind of tea, clothing, what you said, retail. Some people even said retail doesn't cross borders. So retail, you always need to adapt. At the end, you want a local client. At the end, you need to sell a smartphone contract. In Germany, you have mostly stores. In some other places, they are selling it at the market or any other places. So, and this is the tricky thing of international marketing. When you believe what works at home must work everywhere, this ethnocentric attitude. So what works at home must work everywhere. Then you need to look at, is it possible with your product or not? So like we said, Harley Davidson Espresso might be possible, But when we're going into this really multinational, polycentric attitude, this is going to be very, very difficult. So you always need to look at culture-free, culture-bound products. So culture-bound is mostly multinational company, and culture-free is mostly a global company, so that you know the connection. And there's something in between the mixes of these parts. But this is relevant for you to know. In an international company, we need somebody with an ethnocentric, and this person is successful. And we don't need to change it. We don't need to say you must develop a global mindset. In a multinational, it's good to have polycentric strategies. In a global, it's good to have this regio-centric mindset. And in this transnational, you have this global mindset or geocentric mindset, local mindset. So these are all the words which are relevant. And we are focusing here a lot on this global mindset development. So in this transnational, so people who are from the subsidiary need to go into the headquarter, are sent from the headquarter to different subsidiaries. So this is something where we have a lot of issues with cultural differences. Okay, so let's move on with some of those slides. So the point is that what we have seen in the last couple of 20 to 30 years, like the part from Samsung. I don't know if you have had the chance to look, or did you have access to the Samsung case, which I have uploaded. You can see that they have done a big change of their international, multinational, global, transnational strategies, and also of their mindsets. So what we can see is that a couple of companies, they are going through this process of adapting their strategy, adapting. Then they have a different. Then they have different people from all over the world, which they recruit. Now, so for example, at Henkel or at some other companies, they have this called 222 approach. So 222 means you must gain experience at least when you would like to work for Henkel, or if you even would like to work for Samsung or for Siemens. It's part of their DNA that you gain international work experience. So you must go outside your home country, at least for Henkel, it is at least in 2 countries. How long you stay there is might be a little bit different. Walmart is giving the offer to women to go abroad, but not more than 6 months. On the other side, you must try to think about what are 6 months. You're saying hello and you're saying goodbye, and then you're still going back. So 6 months is also a very short period of time, but you can think about it yourself. If somebody can adapt and somebody speak local language, to my point of view, not. But anyhow, so the point is that work experience is one of those 222. 2 countries outside your home country. The second of this 222 is that you must have different work experience in different business functions. When you said, oh, in my university, I always like marketing and I see myself only in marketing. This is good. I mean, you could be a specialist, but on the other side, if you would like to climb up the career ladder, you perhaps need to learn supply chain, or you need to learn research and development. Not so much, but as a leader, you must have experience in different business functions, because this shows that you are flexible. This shows that you can see problems or any strategies from different angles, from different viewpoints, so that you can see the integration inside the company. So this is relevant, different business functions. And the other one is for Henkel, which perhaps, I don't know if it is also for Samsung, but they said, okay, we are a 2-product company. We have adhesives, glues, and we have washing powder. So you must gain experience in these 2 different kind of products. The same is doing Mercedes-Benz, or with the trucks, or with transporters. So you must gain in different products. You must get familiar. So And this is how they grow their future leaders, not just saying, oh, this is a straight guy and always being have experience only in one part, and this is good. I mean, nobody tells you that this is not a good way of making a career, but not to be a global leader, because the people have a checklist. In each company they have a checklist. Okay, this person, okay, no, this person only is doing logistics. Could this person ever be in the management board only with logistics? No, perhaps not. So this is part of what they are looking for. So, for example, there's one company in Germany, and I know that they have recruited for 5 years no Germans. They said, "Hey, we would like to grow worldwide. Why do we need Germans? No, we don't need Germans. We need people from outside, and because otherwise we need people from different cultural contexts and different languages, and this is what they're doing. So this is what was their HR worldwide policy." Okay, so this geocentric, global mindset, transnational mindset. So all of these are the similar terms that they can bring groups together of different cultures to achieve a common goal. So they are checking like this integration, differentiation. So they need to look at how can we get this win-win situation with solving conflicts, and going into one direction or one vision. Okay, so cultures, integration, and these are the most relevant things. So now we talked a little bit about the points of global mindset from the individual perspective. Now we will move on later, and also you're doing your competencies and anything. But the point is, why are we doing it? At the end, it is about to look that the company is being more successful on the global stage. So there are a lot of studies, and if you would like to, I have written two papers on it to look at studies. What did they tell? So what are the outcomes? Why do companies need it? It is a success factor for long-term competitive advantage. I mean, you know that more cultures also sometimes needs or means more conflicts, more time. But at the end, these multicultural companies are also more innovative. It's not written down here with the innovation part, but this is something which was done the last couple of years. Multicultural teams are also more innovative because they have points from different angles, different viewpoints. I mean, you will see it when you're doing the group work with other nations, that they understand the case completely different. I mean, most of the cases are Harvard business cases. I mean, and the last couple of years, you must see that the way how Harvard business is writing cases might also be biased. So there's a little bit of criticism. I mean, you know it, perhaps you're doing in India, you're doing a lot of parts from India, theories, and that you said, okay, how can we apply it? This Harvard business cases shows you also this US perspective in most of the cases. So the point is that sometimes these US strategies, they function only in US, but not in Europe or not in Asia or in China or in India. I mean, there is a different competition. There is a different way of doing business. So when you would like to do real international business, you must do cases from South America, you must do cases from India, you must do cases from China, you must do cases from United States. Yeah, so this is something like an international business teacher must also looking at informations from different regions, because otherwise you're getting a perspective that you believe you know how international business works, but it is more complicated than you think it is. So export performance of SMEs. I mean, I mean, we talk about multinationals, but also this international SMEs, small and medium size. I mean, we have in Germany the so-called hidden champions. So these are, and the term is German Mittelstand. So these are, I mean, Germany is so successful because they have a lot of companies between 500 and 5,000 employees. And they are very, very powerful and very internationalized, and they have one big vision, and this is completely very good organized. So not a lot of countries have these 500 to 5,000 employees, but they are the backbone of the German country. No? So I mean, we have this multinationals, Siemens, Bosch, and some others, but 95% are small and medium-sized companies in Germany, and they are the backbones. No? Okay, so yeah, early mover advantage. I mean, when you can see more opportunities than risks or threats, then it is also good, because sometimes risk taking is necessary when you're going abroad or when you're going internationally. So some other positive effects are that it enhances the firm's international behavior. So greater international firm performance. So, I mean, on the other side, I mean, when you look at the last year, you also see that a lot of companies are de-internationalizing. So they're going back. They said, okay, now we have 2 or 3 subsidiaries which we need to reduce, cost cutting in some other parts. So it's also relevant to go for a balanced growth and not just saying, we start with 20 subsidiaries and then it's going to be very easy. I mean, we talked about culture free and culture bound. And when you try to think about when you're doing this market selection or market entry modes, so for Apple, for example, it's relevant to be very, very fast in selling the new products, because you know that 1 year later there comes the next upgrade or the next new version, and this is very timely. No? So speed is also relevant in some of this culture-free products. Culture-bound products is very difficult to internationalize. No? So food industry going from one country to the other one, it's very tricky, I would say. Huh? So okay, no, but this is a point of looking at growing is good, but you also need to look at culture-free, culture-bound, where it's more easy to internationalize, where it's more difficult. It increases firms' ability to handle cross-cultural shocks. So when you have more people with a global mindset inside your corporation, it's that less people will fail abroad because they are used to it. And this is for you very relevant to start very early with international experience. That you see there are some differences in different regions, and that you get familiar with this cross-cultural shock. So, I mean, I also experienced a cross-cultural shock in Brazil. When you also see the poverty and you see people on the streets and anything. So this is also when I'm growing up in Europe and everything is organized, and so this is also something where we all see it is not the same. So for me it was very difficult because in Brazil people don't speak English. I need to learn Portuguese, and the music is always in Portuguese, and you don't understand anything. And so I mean, it is a learning process. No? So you get also frustrated in the situation. So you need to find a way of getting distance to what's there on the streets, what's going on, and where you can help, where you can support, what you can do. And on the other side, I was also reflecting that I came with this European education, PhD in international business and anything, and I went to South America, and I see most people don't have enough money. I mean, look at some of those houses. There is nothing like a differentiation strategy. People want basics. They want basic issues: water, gas, gasoline. They want clothes. They want something to eat, and this is also perhaps for a lot of these companies from Western oriented. They need to think differently. And I mean, and this is also where I said, hey, I've learned 15 years business or at the university, and I teach, and how much can I apply here or not? And I said, hey, I also need to be flexible and also need to adapt. You cannot bring any examples where people said, hey, but this product can only afford 1% of the society. So this is difficult. And perhaps the same would be difficult when you're coming from emerging countries, and now you're trying to look at, okay, but what do Europeans or people from the United States want? Because they also need to adapt your product or anything like this, no? That you said, okay, now it must be more customized, and it is a low standard product. It needs to raise up. So I think for both sides it's difficult, no? But what I'm telling you is, you need to learn, you need to observe, you need to listen, you need to look, how is business going on in this country? When do people buy? When do people trust you? And this is completely different, because you only know your parts, but you don't know the others. So this is something which you need to learn, and you need to stay for a couple of weeks or months there in order to understand how is it working. I mean, in Brazil, we are also buying every 2 weeks 20 liters of water. I mean, in Germany, I'm going at the tap and can drink the water. Here I need to buy it, and I need to look it, and so it's completely different. No? So the electric situation, gasolines and anything. So I was taking a shower in Brazil, and there was electronic above, because the shower works with electronic. I said, hey, what's going on here? I never have seen this in Europe. This is crazy. I'm taking a shower with electronics? No. And so, I mean, these are small examples, and where you can see the cultural differences and also the standards. But this is something which you need to see, because otherwise you couldn't understand it. I mean, if somebody would like to talk about it, I would say, okay, it's electronics. No? But when you yourself take a shower and then you look above and say, oh, it's crazy. Okay, no, so this is something which you need to understand. Okay, yeah, what other parts do we have? I think most of them we have here earlier. Mover advantage. Let me check it. I think, or is it double inside? Okay. Responsibility, sustainability. Also global mindset. I mean, we talk a lot about responsibility, sustainability. I mean, even people with this global mindset, or the company, they are more used to it. They think more in a differentiated way. And we will also have a lecture here from Vinit about global responsibility, sustainability, perhaps a little bit from this Indian or world perspective. I'm also surprised about what will be talk about. But what is ethics? So what is the definition of ethics? Is it the European way of understanding ethics? Is it the Indian, or is there a global ethics view? I mean, look at politics. Vladimir Putin and some others, and you would say, hey, is he telling the truth or not? Is he ethically? What's happening in Ukraine right now? I mean, this is up to you to interpret it. So. And can we say something about Syria from Germany or not, or is it not our case? So this is something we also need to think about. So what kind of definition do we have when we talk about somebody must be socially responsible or sustainable? I mean, when I went to Brazil and going into a shopping mall, going out with 20 plastic bags, and then I am located in Germany, and it's forbidden to have plastic bags. Then which country is more sustainable? And what do these countries understand by being sustainable? So this is something you need to take into your consideration about when you're doing cross-cultural business. Is it your perspective? Is it the perspective of the others? No? So, I mean, this is something you need to think about. And even within your cases, when you work with others on your cases, you also must see, oh, okay, I come to a completely different solution, or I do understand the text completely different, but this is relevant for you to see it. Yeah, gender balance, this parts and stakeholder demands. So I mean, at the end, it is about also what can you do in order to improve. Yeah, here are all these points mentioned. Why is international performance improved? Why is it relevant to implement a global mindset at the organizational level? So the corporate level. But it needs individuals like you, or within your next couple of, or within your learning process, that you see it is beneficial. And at the end, the company makes more money as well. And this is what it is all about in business. So, okay. So, yeah, so we have this global local dilemma, and it is a process, like I said. When you would like to develop a global mindset, it depends on your curiosity, your openness, you're willing to go abroad, you're willing to understand others, also to receive criticism perhaps on your way, on your communication, that you said, oh, this was a little bit too direct. Like Germans are sometimes too direct, perhaps people from Netherlands as well. But at the end, it's also about that you're seeing the things positive, that you see also feedback positive. I mean, sometimes it could be very harsh, but on the other side, most of the people, they don't want you to feel bad. They want you to open up the eyes about what to say, when to say, how to say, and this is something which you need to look at the learning journey, not just as criticism, but to see, okay, on this case, I need to learn something, and we always need to learn. Till our last breath, we all need to learn. Okay, yeah. So I mean, at the end, what I did within a lot of research is I checked with a team of 2 other professors. So we checked about, but what is the outcome of a global mindset? So from a people perspective, from an individual perspective, and to see that that from the individual people, it shows also a superior organizational performance. It shows also that the people with a global mindset are also more trusted. It shows also that people with this global mindset might be more motivated because they would like to achieve something, and also that they can commit more other employees. So this is something like I would like to compare with this COVID virus. So the point is how to implement a global mindset in the corporation. You need super spreaders. I mean, okay, it's a little bit, the picture might be also interpreted by you a little bit differently, but the point is that the HR department, they must identify people with a little bit of cross-cultural background, or people who would like to travel, and to empower these people to say that the global mindset is necessary, that cross-cultural work is relevant for the company. that it improves innovation. And this is of how to empower these people. So not only empower the people who have already power inside the corporation, but to identify different employees. For example, like you, international students said, oh, okay, I did one foreign semester in France, or I have been to China or Australia or anywhere else. And to say these people have seen also the own country a little bit with different eyes. I mean, from my story is, am I typically German or not? So I'm 44 years. I lived 8 years in Austria, 1 year in Ireland, and also now roughly 1 year in Brazil, and now I'm in Mexico. So am I typically German or not? I mean, I have gained international experience, international education. I've seen different companies of consultancies, multinational or small and medium-sized companies. So, and this is something you need to take into consideration. You're meeting somebody, another person from France, but you did not know that this person perhaps has done a study in Great Britain or in UK, United Kingdom, or did a foreign semester in Switzerland or anywhere else. So, and this is very relevant for you to see it is a person, but perhaps not one where you said, oh, it's a typical German person, very straight and this part. No? So for you, it's relevant to see that it is international business is people business, like I said in the last week. So because you connect with people, and you must understand the people. No? Understand the product, the service of your company is very relevant, but at the end, it's about to understand people. Okay. Yeah, the outcome for the company levels. No, I mean, it's more success. It's more this growing issues or export performance. It's getting better of people with a global mindset. I mean, some of you might say, I don't want to work in a multinational corporation. I don't want to work even for a small and medium size. I would like to be an entrepreneur. And I'm telling you, there's also a lot of research, a lot of studies on international entrepreneurs, on entrepreneurs with a global mindset. I mean, we have some industries, high-tech, biotechnology, sometimes they do not even have clients in the home country. So in the country they are grown up. So Germans are setting up a company in Germany, but they don't have any client. So they need to work with neighboring countries. They need to look, how can I sell my product? I mean, look at all these digital companies. No? If you look at Netflix, I mean, Netflix currently is in, I think, 200 countries, because I know it. I had a student 6 weeks ago in a class from Netflix. She was from the United States, but the class was in Brazil. So Netflix, I mean, they are not in China and they are not in, I think, in North Korea or any other. In 2 or 3 countries they are not. So the point is that Netflix also has this global local approach. They must have sometimes 20 or 30% or perhaps more local serials, you know, with German language in Germany, German producers and anything, and then they have this worldwide serials, I don't know, Vikings and however they are called. No, I mean, you know it perhaps better. So they are also in this global local dilemma. No? They must look of which serials, with which serials are they making money, or with what kind of movies they are buying, in what kind of countries. I mean, I don't know if you have experienced it, but when I went with my German Netflix account to South America, I can see different serials, and sometimes I could not see the serials in German language, which I could see because you can only see them in Spanish or Portuguese, so they also have a change. But this is something which you need to see. So you're having this global local dilemma in a lot of industries, and this is what you need to look at. Okay, so how to develop a global mindset? Like I said, it's not a straight line. It's something like it is relevant to articulate your own mindset. This is the most important thing. Okay, I'm from India, I'm from this region. My family was poor, but I got the chance to study. Perhaps I need to pay it back, the study, in a couple of years. I had chances perhaps to travel with my university and anything. And this is what you need to know. But you only will get to know it when you're going outside. Now you're going outside this region, outside this country, and then you know, okay, this is typically Indian. On the other side, a global mindset is relevant that you say, oh, I would like to exposure myself to diversity and novelty. I'm open to others, even to people from Pakistan or some other where there might be conflicts, but I'm open. I'm open to, because I'm interested in the people. So how are they celebrating different cultural days, the bank holidays? What kind of music do they like? What kind of movies do they like? So the point is to get to know a different culture is not to be there with an autopilot. You're looking, oh, there is Cyril I know and I understand the language. No. The autopilot is something where it's very difficult to develop a global mindset. So you need to see, oh, there is a comedy. What are people laughing at? What kind of words are they using? I mean, you must perhaps understand a little bit of the foreign language, but this is how you get used to it, and not just saying, oh, I'm in my hotel bed and now I'm switching to my Netflix account in my language, and now I'm okay and anything is fine. Okay, so I mean, I'm also experiencing it right now. I mean, when I'm looking at the breakfast, my wife said, I don't like this breakfast here. She's from Brazil, I'm from Germany. I said, hey, I'm trying to adapt. I'm eating it and I'm getting used to it, and it's not so bad, and it's a different quality. And yeah, I mean, trying to experiment. No? Okay. Yeah, integration of new knowledge and the development of a new mindset. I mean, this is something like saying, oh, Germans, people from Austria and Switzerland, oh, they are sometimes really, really being very different. And not just, okay, they all speak German, they have cultural roots and anything. No, it is a way of seeing that there might be small areas, even regions, where they are pro-Germans or against Germans. And this is something you must get to know. And this is this new knowledge or new mindset. But this you only will gain through experience, by talking, by interacting. So, and this takes time. So it is a non-linear curve, the global mindset development. No? And there was even one study. It was in one of the highest ranked journal. There was one study of where people, where you think, but is it unlimited to develop a global mindset? And I said, no. There was one study of French managers in the global marketing department. So they only are concerned about other countries and anything. And they even reduced their global mindset. So normally we are talking about develop, okay. But some people even go backwards. And this was also fascinating. Perhaps I can check the study again, why it was the case, perhaps of conflicts and other parts. I didn't remember all the points, but this is also something. So let me just go back on one of those slides. When you remember, we talked about also I think personality. Let me check. We have it here. Talked about personality traits. Properties here. Now we talked about this ocean. So when you see different people in a global career, and some people said, hey, you have your personality. It's difficult to change. And I'm saying, no, it's bullshit. You can change if you want to change, or if there is an urgency to change. No? So perhaps narcissistic people, sometimes they need to change because they got nobody likes these people, and they are at the end they are on their own, but they want to have contact, so they also need to change their habits and their behavior, which might be very difficult. Okay, so the point is that we have this openness or intellect, and when people are doing this job for 10 to 15 years, living 3 years in Bolivia, 4 years in Brazil, 2 years in China, and 3 years in India, this will change a character. So these people are completely different to 15 years ago. So their way of agreeableness and openness, or perhaps even one of those others, would have changed dramatically. So, and this is what you need to take into your mind. So this international job makes something with your character. I'm not talking about negatively, but I'm talking about that your openness or your agreeableness will be much more flexible, or perhaps even higher the value than when you started your journey. So you can change your personality traits. It will take time and experience, but this is something which you will see, that the people are not the same when they are doing this international journey. I mean, there's a book on global cosmopolitanism, which is written from an author from INSEAD. So INSEAD is one of the highly reputable university worldwide, and Brim, how is her first name? Okay, I don't know, but Professor Brim, she did interviews with global leaders, because at INSEAD, INSEAD is some kind of magnet of people coming from all over the world. Now, IMD and INSEAD, so they are very multicultural classes. But these people also feel loneliness. They don't know, am I German? Am I perhaps Brazilian? Am I somebody from Iran? How do I celebrate Christmas? So these people, because they were travelers, they also have an identity problem. So, I mean, this is the backside of this global leadership life or global career, that even when they had parents which had already this curriculum vitae, CV, of always being in different places. So this is for companies excellent, but for yourself, it could be sometimes very lonely. And these people are all meeting at INSEAD and IMD, and they talk about this. But this is an excellent book, which I would recommend you. Global Cosmopolitans, something like this, from Erika Brim, or I don't know the first name, but it's very easy to find out. No? So she has written 2 books, and with interviews of such people. Okay, so let me check. I think we are nearly at the end of the session of today. So individual outcome, how to develop, yes. So I know that on this last slide that there are some German words. So the point is, if an organization would like to change also their perspective into a global mindset, or cultivating a global mindset, corporate global mindset, they also need to change some of their habits or some of their points. So for example, here's something mentioned like global mandates. So how to implement in the corporation global functions. And it is good that not always this head of global HR or head of global procurement, that they are always in the headquarters. So for a globally integrated company, it's good to have the meetings not always in Germany of the HR departments, the heads of different countries, or the procurement or the logistics, but always to have it in a different country. No? So that people can see it and anything. That you have a global IT infrastructure where you can get good cases or good experiences from one country to the other one. So a global IT is very relevant. What is also relevant is to document when people are coming back from their assignments. Some of you might know expatriation, some people going abroad. Impatriation is that, for example, people from the subsidiaries, they came into the headquarters. So when you would like to work for Samsung, you need to be at least, I think, 1 year or 2 years in South Korea. When you would like to work for L'Oreal, you must be at least 1 or 2 years in Paris. When you would like to work for Siemens, and you're coming from India or no, anywhere, and you are invited to go, then you must stay at least 1 or 2 years speaking local language a little bit. No? So this is called impatriation. So from the subsidiaries to the headquarters, in order to get to know the global DNA, culture, history, and anything like that. And then the last term is repatriation. It means somebody is sent abroad and coming back home. So somebody goes from Munich to Sao Paulo and going home from Sao Paulo to Munich. And there is a phenomenon that 3 years or up to 3 years. So up to 3 years, when they are already integrated again in Germany, that 40% are quitting their job. So people go abroad, they gained a lot of good information in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. And sometimes people quit because they don't have good applications of the knowledge. Nobody cares in Munich about the knowledge of Sao Paulo and Brazil. So these people must get good global projects. They must get perhaps another project with Argentina or with North America. So, and there are also many other issues. But the point is, what I'm talking about now with this global IT is the knowledge loss. The people gained good first-hand experience knowledge, and this must be documented because the companies knows this person might quit. And what about the knowledge? So, and then the next one is doing failures. The next one is, needs to have 1 year experience to get to know how are things moving on. I mean, these people can also be mentors for others, but they must have a global role as well. So when you have had the chance to have a global role, then you said, oh, a domestic role is for me not relevant anymore. I like this challenge and this global workplace. Okay, so global functions, implementing task forces and some other ones. I mean, you must look, how can the organization develop? The topic here is not so much on this organizational level, but I would like to show it to you. Also, they must change something like 222 approach, like what Henkel is doing. This is organizational based. They want people with a flexible growth mindset, learning new things. Okay, so this was the session of today. Perhaps you might have some questions about the journey and about some parts, or perhaps you even have also some other examples of other companies where you said, okay, they also have a similar 222 approach. So perhaps you can try to give me some kinds of your experience about what I talked here, or perhaps you even have different examples. Yeah, yes, please. So Vinit,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot today, but what is your?
Yeah, so my take is that I think the students from bachelor's, the BBA students, and since you didn't allow me to allow this MBA students to partake in this event, in this webinar, so that is why they are just waiting for it. But as far as BBA students is concerned, I am sure that most of them are pretty familiar with the concepts that has been taught, because most of the things that you discussed here, I spoke to one of the students who was part of the BBA, because we also have student from MA. There are 4 students, so I think probably they might be facing some difficulties, but if I'll share the slides with them, so that will actually help them to grasp the idea behind this thing, behind the whatever you have thought. But as far as BBA, I would request maybe a couple of students to join me in explaining that whether there is any issue in understanding. Maybe some anyone. If any student may confirm that what difficulties they are facing from MA, or any student from the BBA would like to come forward and comment.
Yeah, perhaps also, Vinit, what might be relevant is if you have an example of this Indian companies, or a Tata, for example, or some others. I mean, they are also worldwide active. No? So perhaps you also have some stories which you know of, okay, when you apply at this company in India, because I'm not familiar with the names, that you said, hey, it's nearly the same. If you don't have international work experience, you don't have a chance to make a career there, or global career, or anything like this. No? So I mean, I talked about here some
Professor Joe, may I request you to kindly stop the recording, so then we can have the informal discussion.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
also. Okay.